There you go.
Hi, and welcome to The Naked Truth. I am Jennifer Bleacher.
I'm David Bleacher.
And our guests this evening are the Tigers, Scott and Bridget. How was your week this week, guys?
Oh, this week went pretty well. I way better than the last couple weeks.
True.
So, I threw my back out earlier this week, so that was sort of a bummer. So the last couple of days I've been on the couch, but otherwise it's been great. It's been good. It's been a really nice weekend though. Yeah. Laying on the couch can be very relaxing.
Yeah, I like it. It's good stuff, even when you're not injured.
Yeah. It's nice to have a little rest after a few really busy weeks.
Yeah. How was your week, David?
My week was pretty good. I worked, came home, worked, came home, worked, came home. The end.
Yeah, we actually had 2 snow days this week at school, but he still has to drive to work, unfortunately, on those days.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looked pretty treacherous. I saw pictures on your Facebook about that.
Oh, the
like
white.
Yeah, that was crazy.
He was doing that while he was driving.
With my dick.
So you thought that was just pre-show talk? Oh no, it doesn't end.
The hard part is turning the phone back off. The little button.
Yeah.
Scott doesn't know that.
I mean, that's the thing.
So tonight I enabled the chat feature, so feel free to leave messages and ask comments or ask questions. All of the questions we got this week came in anonymously. Nobody wants us to say their names, so
Those little masks on.
It's fine.
Like, we're listening. Respect us. Blah blah blah. Anonymous.
But if you ask a question live, everyone's going to know you asked it. Just be forewarned. We also enabled
your mom to do things.
Stop.
Continue with her behavior.
The feature where we can share stuff from the internet, and for fun, we also enabled the applause feature tonight. So feel free to play with all the features.
Features presented by Bleechers.
Tonight. I can't see the questions. Oh, I think I have to push this button. 1 second, guys.
Yeah, push buttons.
Yeah, push buttons.
There. Okay, now I can see the questions. Okay. Well, we're going to start with community celebrations. So
Time to celebrate.
This week, Jenny Slims Down had surgery. Welcome to the Losers Bench, Jenny. Jennifer Lundy has lost over 100 pounds. She's actually lost 126 pounds, and she is just 6 months post-op.
Awesome.
Yeah, that is amazing. 126 pounds in 6 months.
I know.
That is impressive.
It is. It's very impressive.
Holly Weldon had plastics this week, so that's very exciting. Then, let me see. I had a couple more online. Jennifer Mahoney has reached her lowest adult weight this week. She's almost 4 years post-op, and she said that she's learning that new healthy habits she's created has aided with her tool to reach this goal. So she is almost in the 130s, which is so awesome. Congratulations, Jennifer.
Yeah, she rocks.
She is awesome.
The Mahonies are awesome.
They both are. They're going to WSFA, right?
Yeah, they're going to be there this year.
Okay, yay!
For sure.
Good. So you'll get to meet them. You'll love them. They're awesome.
Cool. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm. It's gonna be that kind of weekend. Angela Locke.
Oh.
I can't pronounce her middle name or her second.
Where's that one?
Ruta Giuliano. Angela Rutigliano Locke is deciding to get backtrack on this week. She had RNY in 2002, so always good to get back on track. So that's awesome. Cerise Patron is celebrating her 1 year anniversary since her hitting goal. So she's very excited about that.
And being named after top shelf alcohol. Good job.
Yep.
Oh. Just think that's one of my favorites.
Yeah, we like to drink you.
Yeah. And Elizabeth Rodriguez had her paniculectomy this week, And this is amazing. They actually removed 40 pounds of skin.
Wait,
Isn't that
what?
Amazing.
Oh, Alicia Contreras.
No, she's sharing that Elizabeth Rodriguez.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So
That's like a small child.
40 pounds?
That's
yeah, that's
actually a decent sized child.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
so small. I mean,
our almost 5-year-old son's about 40 pounds.
You could capture a small child with it.
And we have a friend from Australia. Wendy Allison is watching from Australia. Hi,
Hi,
Wendy.
mate.
Thank you.
Hello.
Welcome to the show. Remember, guys, even if you don't want to leave a comment or question, just say hi so we know who's watching and give you a shout out just for watching. Okay, tonight we have some pretty personal questions. And like I said, nobody wanted to say who asked these questions. But so if we ask any questions that makes anyone uncomfortable,
The safe word is
Broccoli.
yeah. You don't have to answer anything you don't want to answer. I know David's really shy and he's going to want to hold back on some. Just put it out there. You don't have to answer anything that makes you uncomfortable, okay?
Good.
Okay, so let's start with Scott and Bridget. How did you guys meet?
Well, when we were kids, she sat next to me on a bus.
Like, wait, how old? How old kids?
I was 14 and he was 16, and there was this youth leadership program called Youth Academy, and he'd been in it for a year, and we were going on retreat, and he was one of the leaders and I was one of the new recruits, and I got on the bus and there weren't any empty seats, and so I sat down in the first seat and said, "Hi, my name's Bridget."
I said,
Hey,
"Hey,
power dichotomy.
What a pickup line, I guess, but
yeah."
You're on the bus, right?
on the bus. But anyway, the weekend had like some personality test things, and we tested the same kind of personality, and then sparks flew, and I think our adult sponsors made sure we were in separate groups because we were already crazy about each other. And I went home at the end of the weekend and I wrote in my diary, if I had to get married in 48 hours or never be married, I would marry Scott. And it took us 6 months to make us as a couple happen, and I wasn't allowed to date until I was 16, so we dated for 5.5 years before we got married, and we've been married 11.5 years now.
Nice.
Wow, awesome.
Nice.
When you say 14, I think, oh, that's not that young. But when I consider that I almost have a 14-year-old.
Yeah.
I love to tell people with 14-year-olds because it tends to freak them out. But
yeah, it freaks me out a little bit to think that he might be meeting his future spouse in the next few months. That's pretty creepy. I'm like, I'm not ready. I'm not ready.
And also, they always say that girls are more mature than boys at that age. I've been seeing like the texts and shit he gets from girls, and
yeah, we look.
They're not that mature.
But you know what? They look mature.
Yeah.
Because he's a basketball player. So I like at the games, I look at the girls who I used to have as students just like 5 to 7 years ago, and they look like women. And I'm like, and I had them as first graders, you know, and then now they look like women. It's pretty scary.
Yeah.
It's not entirely a good change.
No. I'm glad we don't have a girl. I would be freaking out if we had a girl. I'm freaking out with the boy already.
Right.
So the next question was, how long have you guys been married? So you said 11 years.
Yep.
Way to jump ahead there, guys.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's kind of all rolls together.
Oh, I guess you're a guest too. So how did we meet?
I was a transvestite. It was in drag. I shaved the chest hair, but that was about it. And the rest I had the goatee and everything. And my name was Loopy DeVille. And the heels, I guess, really made me tall.
Right. No, we by your house on one night, right? Because her car broke down.
Yeah, and her car broke down. She was with some other guy. There was this guy with a wheelchair.
And they wrote a musical about the whole thing.
That's right.
It was weird. Yeah, it got famous. Got
you guys were that famous.
No, well, strange enough, it was Halloween for real.
Yeah,
it was Halloween.
Really Halloween.
And this is real. It was a big pink mansion that a friend of mine was he was a roommate of somebody there.
They're like so this mansion, the guy who owned the mansion is kind of an eccentric. I mean, he painted his mansion pink. He like hired all these like young artists, like entertainer artists to live there. I mean, not hired them, sorry. He rented it out to like young artists to live there. So his friend he's a musician.
Yeah, a guy named Jim Kingston. He's running.
He's
DJ.
pretty big in Ireland, right?
He
was.
They had like I forget, like I have to look up his name of his band, but he had like one of those one hit wonder things. But he was running a bar and stuff, and he's running DJ stuff now in England. Anyway, back to the way back. For 15 years ago, we met at this pink mansion. Halloween, and I don't think either of us were. No, I was in a pirate outfit. This pirate outfit that my mom made me, I don't know however many years before that. And you weren't dressed up. You were like in a coat.
I was in a black leather jacket and tight jeans.
Yeah.
Black heels.
And my friend and I were sitting across a room, just sitting and shooting the shit. And Jennifer kept walking back and forth across the room on the other side, looking lost. So I yell out, "Hey, you looking for somebody?"
You looking for somebody?
She said,
"Yeah, you looking for something?"
She said,
and she looked startled. So,
I mean, I've been in LA for like almost 2 years by this point, but I was still pretty Midwestern. And I had just like moments before witnessed people like snorting coke off the ground.
Snorting cork? Snorting cork. It was a crazy party.
So I just assumed it was a pretty crazy party. I mean, there was like all kinds of stuff going on at that party. But
and for me, it was a normal LA night.
Yeah, it's just a normal night for him. For me, you know, pretty new from Iowa. I'm like shocked at everything I'm seeing. So when he started yelling at me, I just assumed he was on something. Like, because who yells at people from across a crowded room?
So, and she said she was looking for a friend that she wanted to take home because she was, I guess, freaked out by all the cork snorting.
No.
cork snorting.
I was there with 2 girlfriends, and the other girlfriend that we were visiting there, she was a stand-up comedian, so that was her like.
She was on. It was funny. It was shortly after that she was on Last Comic Standing. I think it was that first one.
It was the first.
She's a little blonde chick.
The first season of Last Comic Standing. But anyway, so one of the girlfriends I was with wanted to go home, so I was looking for the other girlfriend to get her so we could go. And anyway, so
speaking of who was actually on drugs that night.
Who wasn't on drugs? I was not on drugs that night, and neither was he. I just assumed he was.
I was drinking a little bit.
It just turns out he's always like this all the time.
Yeah. These are my natural pupils. They're really.
We started talking, and you started showing me your like dance moves.
The light stick shit.
The light stick.
Yeah.
Dance stuff. You took my hand at one point, and I don't know why. Like, was it to shake my hand?
To put it down my pants.
No.
She just went for that anyway.
I was like, stop. I don't know what he was doing with my hand. But
I'm a virgin.
I think he took my hand to shake it. I don't know. And he said, "Wow, you have really soft hands." So, that was funny. I know. I thought it was funny.
So she was smitten and then like carved her number into my arm. And then at
one point, I think I was like leaning in to tell him something, and he's like, "Whoa, don't kiss me. I have a cold." I was like, I wasn't trying to kiss you.
I was like, sure.
And then but he took my number, and then you called me like. He waited a while. Like he called me. I don't know if he called me on Friday. Total player. He called me like Friday or Saturday night, but like at like 10 or 11, like on a Friday or Saturday night, like after a week.
Yeah, let's go.
I'm like, I already have plans. So it took us a while to like finally set something up, but then we got together.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yep.
On our first date, our fortunes mine said, find a quiet place and to plan your future.
Mm-hmm.
And yours is I forgot what yours said, but they went together, and it was
this
funny.
time put her hand on your pants.
Oh, good try.
and then some numbers.
Yeah. So how long have we been married?
We've been married 14 years or 13 years, coming up on 14.
Yep, 14 in June.
June. Yeah.
In June. Yeah. So how long were you guys together before you got married?
5.5 years.
See, everyone, all the answers you hear tonight, go with Scott and Bridget.
Well, we were
Don't do what we did.
we would have gotten married sooner if we'd met as adults. Maybe.
Oh, okay.
But you know,
We had to,
we had to wait till we were grown up.
You know.
So, yeah, when you meet Mr. Right at 14, you don't get to get married at 15 or 16.
Unless you're Mormon.
Well, you know.
Or you live in Arkansas.
My parents also met and married fairly young, and my mom was 19 when she got married, and she always kind of thought she got married too young, so I waited till I was 20.
Good for you. Well, I was 24.
No, I was 29.
28.
28. No, 20, I thought it was 29 when we got married.
You turned 29 the next month.
Okay.
I turned 25 the
Okay.
next month. And but so we were together 8 months before the wedding. We were together 2 months before we got engaged.
Yeah.
But we had both been in relationships. I'd been in a relationship for 5 years where I was engaged. And you were in a relationship for 5 years when you were engaged.
Yeah, 5 years. So.
Those broke off. We were like both single for like a year.
I was single longer. I was single almost 3 years, I think.
Oh, okay. I was single for a year. And then
Between 2 to 3 years, yeah.
And then we met. 2 months later, we're like, let's just get married, you know? Like, I tried to make that relationship work for 5 years. It never worked. For 5 years, this is working. Let's just do it.
No, well, I wasn't your first engagement, though.
No, he was my third.
Yep.
So he wanted to get me like really quick before I could run away.
We're like, let's hawk all these diamond, all these engagement rings and pay for a marriage, for a wedding.
I was scared. I was really nervous to get married. I was
scarred.
I was.
Don't be scarred.
So, getting to WLS stuff, were there ever jealousy issues? And if so, how did you deal with those?
Jealousy of?
She
I mean, there's lots of things you can be jealous of.
Should we have David answer first? We'll let David answer, and then we'll come back to you. Did you have any jealousy issues after I had weight loss surgery?
No, after weight loss surgery, no. And I mean, in general, no. I think you felt bad about stuff, but I never, like, yeah. I never had a jealous thing. Like,
never.
The way I look at it is like, you know, if the person you love is into you, then there shouldn't be a problem. And if you can communicate about whatever the problem is. Yeah. And if there's like I'm feeling hurt because you're spending a lot of time with this person and that kind of thing, but not like, oh, she's going and fucking somebody else. I need to like check her phone. I need to, you know, I mean, I never had that urge. It's not my thing.
Yeah. Not even when I like told him that I had a crush on somebody, he was like, oh, that happens. It's fine. Like, he's just not a jealous type at all. Not at all.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that you don't have a control over other people's feelings. Like, there's no way to do it. Like, if you love somebody, love somebody. If they love you, they love you. If it fades, you can fix it by paying more attention or fixing the problem. Right. But if it's like they suddenly lose interest and go for somebody else, that's not on you. You can't stop that. So just keep being the person you are that they fell in love with, and they keep being the person you fell in love with, and that there shouldn't be anything that happens there. And as long as you communicate, you're like, hey, I'm not feeling like you're paying attention. Yeah. To me, you're not doing the things for me that you used to do, or you're not doing things for me that make me feel appreciated. If you say that to somebody, you actually say it out loud, then they have the ability to fix it rather than it just building up over the years, which is where the whole jealousy thing comes from.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Well, love itself is a choice. So
yeah,
you choose to love someone, and if you choose to love someone, you're going to make the decisions to build that relationship.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and Scott has always had a lot of female friends. Even when we went to different high schools, even when we were in high school, we were dating. He ate lunch with all girls, and you know that never bothered me because you know I know he's nuts about me, and I'm nuts about him. And as long as everybody understands that we're an us, you don't try to mess with that. I don't care who you're friends with, you know. I grew up more like one of the guys. I have mostly guy cousins than I have brothers. So, you know, it didn't bother me to have cross-gender friendships. But if you try to steal my man, you're going to be in trouble. But as long as you understand that we're an us, and you go find your own, then we're good. The closest thing to jealous I think I've ever been is just thinking about my own weight issues and feeling like there are parts of his success that I think I wish I could have. And I've been really insecure at the times when his weight has approached my weight. And because there's something about meeting the girl that I feel like I should weigh less than he does.
Yeah.
And so that's the closest thing to jealous that I've been, is of his results, not of his relationships.
Yeah. I don't think. Do you think I'm a jealous person?
Not in general.
Yeah.
There were a couple instances in our marriage, but I mean, it was like the girl was coming on strong too.
It would take a lot for me to. But in general, like if I think he's an attractive man, and if people like mention like, oh, your husband's attractive, I'm like, yeah, he is. I mean, I'm proud of him. Remember we were at that New Year's Eve party last year, and I won't say the name. But remember my friend? So she was like, she's got good size up here, and she's always talking about how attractive he is, and she was standing above him, and she was like rubbing herself all up in his head, and that didn't even make sense. I thought it was funny. It didn't make me jealous.
No, there was a time back in Vegas, there was this Asian woman, because you knew I used to be an Asian. You were very jealous. And
that was hilarious. Okay, this is
you had a right to be, though, because she was coming on strong.
She was coming on real strong. She was actually my boss. We were at a party at her house, and I was in the other room. I had come out. They were like on the deck, and I had come out because I'd be in the other room too. You know, I had a little too much to drink. So then I came out, and they were like, he had his arms around her, and she was looking up at him, and I was a little jealous, just a little bit jealous. Then, well, you were showing her something, right?
Yeah, she's like.
He explained to me at the time. I'm like,
she was doing some kind of smooth, but I was keeping my distance on it. She was like, "Now I never know how to go in for a kiss with a guy, so basically, can you show me the approach?" You know, and I'm like, "Here's the approach," and then I was stepping.
Right. She was gorgeous. She knew how to get a kiss from a guy.
She was going for it, but I did not kiss her. But I'm saying, like, you had a right to feel that way, because I had a thing back before we got married. I had a thing for Asian girls. So he's like, "Oh, it's his fetish."
Yeah.
she's making moves on him.
I wasn't that jealous that time either, though.
No, not super jealous, but you were
just like, "Hey, what's going on, guys?"
like, hey.
Well, it doesn't help that I don't really.
He doesn't understand when people are flirting with him. I have to tell him people are flirting with him.
Like, there were a couple times in college where, like, I was being a nice gentleman, and I was walking this girl home, or not home, but to her car every day, because it was across campus and it was dark, and I didn't want her to get hurt. So, and after a while.
And he'd tell me things she would tell him, and she invited him out for drinks, and I said, "Does she know you're engaged?"
And I was like, I'm pretty sure she does.
And I'm like, next time you see her, just drop it in conversation. Say something about your fiance and see what happens. He's like, no, she's not hitting on me. I'm like, yeah, just mention me. See what happens.
Yep.
And he was like, I was like, yeah, you're right.
He was hitting on me.
Were you ever jealous of my male friendships in the community, the guys I'm friends with?
No.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
No, not at all.
I didn't think so. Okay. Did you take time to relearn one another, not just emotionally and physically, but also sexually?
I don't think there's relearning has been exactly required. Do you?
No, I think it was more of a just overall increase in skill level.
I don't know. I think I think people are always growing. Either you're growing or you're dying. And relationships, you grow as people and you grow together, or you grow apart. And I think it's been another season that we've grown through. So it's not like things haven't changed, but I don't feel like, relearning isn't quite the right word. It's not like we had to start over from the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I don't feel like it's been much of a change.
There's a change. Well, I mean, when we're having sex, you're talking about that?
Yeah, I think the question is probably like positions, maybe like.
Well, I think we were able to do. There wasn't a change in the type of positions, the amount of positions, but there's a change in weight and the ability to breathe. Like that's changed a little bit.
Yeah.
Like it's not
Stamina's up.
Stamina.
Yeah, it's better.
Yeah.
Hey, the pressure's different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Yeah, I hope we answered this person's question. Okay.
Not they have to comment what they want more information about.
Yeah, and this was submitted ahead of time, and I don't know if they're watching live. So, if you want to PM me so that people can't see what you're writing, then you can do that. We did have a live question come in. Can you see it? I can't see it.
Yeah. After WLS, did you find yourself being more energetic and wanting to do things / activities that your hubby wasn't used to and didn't want to do? How did you keep the togetherness with your new lifestyle?
I struggle with this. I struggle with this a lot. I become extremely more active, and I really want him to do things with me, but it's just not his thing. He doesn't want to doesn't want to go to the gym with me. He doesn't want to do those active things with me, and so that's been challenging for me.
I've never been a gym guy because I remember growing up, I'd go to the gym when I was more fit, and every time I worked out, I would puke every single time. And so it's like, to me, it's like you want to go be sick with me? No, I don't want to be sick with you.
Right.
It's still a struggle for us. We don't have a good solution for it. How about you guys?
Well, she actually started going to the gym with me on a fairly regular basis. Going to the gym was never something that we ever had thought of doing before. I mean, it was, why waste the money because we're never going to go to the gym anyway. So when I started going to the gym, and it took you a few months to catch on.
Yeah.
But after I started going and you started seeing my results, you started going with me. And Bridget has her own gym membership now. So, and we go to classes together and we go to separate classes at our gym.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So, but
I recommend Zumba for a couples class because it's fun, and we love to dance anyway, and it's kind of dancing. So, we like to do Zumba together, and I don't know. I've enjoyed him being more active. The only thing I won't take up that he has taken up, and I'm supportive of him taking up, is running. I am not a runner, but I come from a family of runners, and so I'll be your support person, and I don't, I'm happy for you to run, and I'll go to your runs, but I'm just not running.
Well, why not biking? Why don't you guys do biking?
That's something we do together.
It's not as bad on the knees, because that's my big problem. Is I can't run at all because my knees will snap.
Yeah, I had a knee injury as a kid too, and I'm just not built for running. We got bikes, but we haven't actually made it out on.
I've done a couple exploratory trips on my bike, but
we keep meaning to do that, but it just hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, it is tough, but it's
and for us it's seasonal. We only have 3 months a year that we were able to actually go biking here.
That's true. Yeah.
We do enjoy doing walks in the woods together. I mean, that's something I did a lot growing up with my dad and with my family. So that's something I've enjoyed getting back into.
Well, and when we're going on vacation, when we have leisure time, we actually do seek out physical activities like walking on the beach or going for walks in the woods or the hikes, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, our getaway at OH was we took people to one of our favorite parks in North Carolina because we knew North Carolina, and so we took people to one of our favorite parks to go for a walk. I mean, that's what we did when we got snuck out of the conference. So yeah, it was fun.
We went to that hike thing that was painful.
We went to a WLS meet and greet outside of Chicago. Where was
Yeah.
it Chicago?
Yeah.
It's still too far for you guys to go. What was it?
Yeah,
Starved
it was like
Rock.
really one.
Crying Indian Rock or
Starved Rock, yeah.
or Murdered Indian Cliff Face or what the
Oh, that was intense. That was like hours and hours
Yeah.
of hiking. Yeah.
it was like everything is like a tragedy on that trail. It's
It
like
was
this-
sad.
was
Yeah,
like-
the whole story is really sad.
There's like it's Starving Rock. It's called Starving Rock because they starved the Indians to the point where they're like, well, we're gonna starve to death or we're gonna jump off the rock at the and like there's like this gray
It's sad.
there's this gray stuff all over the trails. I'm like, oh, it's Indian ashes everywhere along the trails. Just walking on the dead bodies.
It's beautiful.
No, it's lovely.
Okay. I thought this one was interesting. Feelings for other people. Is that something that happens a lot in the WLS community? I've heard many people have this issue.
I think if you fall into it, it can be very intense. But I think it depends on where you are with your spouse when you first start. If you have issues to start with, you're going to have issues because everything gets magnified. You know, everything that's wrong in your relationship is going to have a magnifying glass. But if you're focused on your own relationship and building that as you go through the process, you're not going to have that tendency to want to do something that's easy. I think that after you have WLS, it's sort of like having a second adolescence. So you sort of have like these really intense feelings all the time. And so if you fall into the trap of, falling for someone else, I think it's really easy to do. So you really need to guard yourself.
Mm-hmm. I'd agree with that. And then the person that you're probably falling for is also going through those really intense feelings as well.
Yeah.
Well, one of the questions earlier was, have you ever been jealous? I haven't been jealous, but I have been annoyed, and that's the general. Like this is early on with the whole. It turns into high school. You're basically living with a high schooler, and you were living with an adult previously, and now it's a high schooler because now there are cliques that start up, and there's high school drama, and there's like, it's weird that you have to deal with a mentality you're not used to anymore out of your spouse from the other side of it, and they know they're going through it, and they can't stop it because it's a completely different feeling for them because they're basically a new person or becoming a new person. Right. And they have all these other people that are giving an immense amount of support they never get in anything else in life because life kind of sucks in general. And then suddenly you come to this group of people that are like, everything you do is great. You're fucking awesome. I can't believe you lost so much weight. Please tell us more about what you eat. I mean,
it's a very supportive community. It is very supportive.
It's almost like being famous. You get this weird kind of like little ego boost all the time from people you don't know. And it seems like you do know them because they're constantly supporting you. So that there's an annoyance factor on the other side of it, being the person on the outside, because like I'm not part of this community and I can't give that level of support constantly because that would be
ridiculous
and deranged. Be like, hey, you're up. I love you so much.
Well, I guess like going back to the jealousy thing, you were very jealous of the amount of time I spent on social media.
That's not jealousy. Jealousy is of a person. That'd be
but like time. Like if you think of the group like as a
I was resentful of the amount of time, but not jealousy is a different thing anyway. Jealousy is like
like you
this
would
person,
prefer I spending that time with you.
But not just with me, like being a mom and like
family.
Like concentrating on your life and not just the thing that's sweet and fun and nice and constant like fair weather friends. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But you can make some really great friendships too in this community. Like we were actually friends with Scott and Bridget. Like we went to their home and we've stayed with them. And it was, for me, it was like going to see family. Like we were there as like, it was as warm and as comfortable as being with family. It was awesome. Yeah.
Well, and
I like you guys. I like you guys. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Yeah. You go.
I like you guys a lot. What I'm talking is more like the way you were with Sarah. Remember, you used to be starstruck.
Oh, Les with Sarah?
Yeah.
I was absolutely starstruck with Sarah. With Sarah. Yeah.
There are people online that are like that with you.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, there are. There definitely
are.
Yes.
It's weird too. No, I mean, if you go to some of these conferences and you have people walk up to you, you don't know them at all, but they know everything about you. It's that sort of thing. You had that happen.
It's a celebrity bubble, and I've been around celebrity bubbles, and it's not different. It's the same shit.
Yeah.
So, but you can build some really true, honest relationships with people in this community that can be very intense.
Yeah, but not all of them are
romantic.
I think but not all of them turn into real. Credit to them being for there. Some of them are for weather friends kind of things. That some of it is just. And not that there aren't real relationships. There definitely are, but they don't all turn out that way.
Yes, like you don't really know what someone's going to be like until you meet them in real life and really get to spend some time with them, I think. So like when we were coming to see you, I mean, we kind of knew what you were like, but like our friendship got so much closer once we came to see you.
Yeah.
Well, the cannibalism was a surprise, but when in Rome.
We worked with it. We go with the flow.
So the animal sacrifices, you weren't expecting that, right?
Yeah. Well, actually, I mean, I think there's only one person that I've met in person that I was disappointed that they weren't the way I thought they were going to be.
Yeah, seriously, TJ.
I never met TJ. Never met TJ. I'm pretty sure he's an asshole in real life.
TJ is a very interesting dude because he is very different in person than he is on his persona. He's really a sweetheart at heart. I mean, he comes off as a jackass. I mean, but he intends to do that. That's his social media, WLS
character.
He's just so good at it too.
He is. He really is a sweetheart at heart. I mean, if you get to know him.
Because I respect you, I'm gonna say okay. I'm gonna trust you on that.
I don't know. I'm an asshole, and I recognize. I'm an asshole, and I recognize TJ. Game recognizes game.
So Scott, would you recommend, and Bridget too, would you recommend bringing your +1 to meet and greets?
Absolutely.
I think the one that I went to without her, I wish she would have been there. When I first went to Tampa, and I think it was a good experience, but I think it would have been better with her there for a couple of reasons. One, she would have tempered me. It is so easy to get out of control at these conferences. I mean, just especially when you're early out. So to have a spouse there that knows you intimately and knows all of your intricacies, it's good to have them there. Mm-hmm. And now it's good to have her there because I want her involved in the whole process. I want her to know all of my friends because at this point, it's about seeing people that I love and wanting to make relationships with people. It's when I first went to Tampa, it was that starstruck. I don't know these people, but I really intensely feel like I do, and I want to get to know them. Now I'm going because I know these people and they need something.
Right.
Well, and school, I think I'll always be on the outside a little bit because I wasn't there then. Because that was when Scott made his first real in-person relationships, and he fell in with the cool kids, and very much like high school, I don't belong with the cool kids, and so I think there's always part of me that feels a little bit on the outside when I'm at a WLS event. Don't get me wrong, I'm glad I go, and I choose to go, and I want to go, and part of why I want to go is to meet his friends, and I consider several people in the community to be my friends too at this point. But I think there's an element of it, and also the events are not structured for +1s. There are some times where there's nothing for me to do or nothing that makes sense for me, if that makes sense. And I struggle with, and it's not like I'm not exactly a normal normie, if that makes sense. I haven't had surgery, but I struggle with my weight, and I struggle with food choices and activity choices, and there's lots of things where you think there would be something for me, But just the way it's structured, it doesn't always happen.
I was wondering about that. So he didn't go with me last year to WSFA or the Michigan meet and greet because he couldn't be there.
Yeah.
Can't take time off in summer.
Yeah, so he'll never be at a Michigan meet and greet. But he was at our Midwest meet and greet that you guys came to. And I really missed having him at WSFA. I mean, I wanted my partner with me. So he's coming this year. I'm so glad he's coming this year.
Yay!
Yeah, I know. I'm so glad.
I'm with you, Bridget. The actual WSFA part of it sounds boring as fuck to me. But like meeting and stuff is kind of cool. But
the
like
parties will be good.
Yeah, like there's meetings and all this other shit. I'm like, you know what's kind of cool? I'm in another city. I'm just gonna go around and fuck around the city for like 2 hours or whatever it is.
Yeah,
I don't have to be there.
Like he probably won't go to any of the like speakers. Like I'll probably go to some of those, but he wouldn't go to that. But he's gonna go to the evening events with me.
Yeah. We may have to make some sort of +1 side trip to do during the conferencey part.
Orgy. Nothing.
Okay, this is specifically for David. David, why do you call Jennifer Honeybutt? And Jennifer, how do you feel about this nickname?
I don't know. She's got a sweet ass, and that's like, well, I can't say sweet ass in public, so I can say Honeybutt. And also that one song, the Sugar by Honeybutt, but it's not Honeybutt in the song. But I just like
he just changed it to
Sugar by Honeybutt. Think love you, can't help myself.
So how do I feel about it? I think it's really embarrassing that he calls me that. I mean, I'm going on what, almost 15 years now.
It's over 15 years that we've been together.
So there was a period of time where I thought, okay, I'm going to give him an embarrassing nickname. So like he gets it. So I started calling him Sugar Dick.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm like, calling me Sugar Dick.
He liked it.
I love it.
He wasn't embarrassed at all. So kind of
I like the idea of having a sweet dick. It's nice.
And I just call him Lollipop. And then
so I don't exactly like it. I do think it's kind of embarrassing, but I'm also used to it until like somebody who like hasn't heard it before. They're like, wait, what did he just call me? And they bring it up. I'm like, oh, yeah, I mean, I'm kind of used to it now.
I try to remember Publix, but the thing is I only say Jennifer if I'm annoyed with her.
If he's mad.
So I'm like,
that's the key, that he's mad at me. If he just
so I'll
calls me
say Jennifer. It's like, so it's hard for me not to say Honeybutt. So
it's a term of endearment. It shows that you love her.
Yeah.
And the next question specifically for Scott and Bridget, do you have pet names for one another?
Absolutely. Sweets.
He's babe.
Oh, sweets. Sweet.
What was my name today? There was a...
see, I always call him baby. So today we did...
And the boys, both the boys' babies. I'm like, who are you talking to?
I know, I'm really...
He's the only babe in our house.
Yeah, Logan's Loganzilla and Jacob's still baby.
Yeah.
I call them poopers. But...
So we did a Facebook quiz today, and his name came up as Baby something something, and I can't remember.
Baby Snuggle something.
I was Snuggles. I can't remember.
Baby
that.
Sweet Snuggles.
Yeah. Like something like Baby Sweet Snuggles.
Like use that. But I still like Sugar Dick.
So okay, not exactly. Any advice for other WLS couples? Here's my thing. I'm not in any place to give any advice, except for just don't do what I did. That's all.
Don't do what I did?
You know, like, well, that video. Oh, you don't know this. Okay, so I ended up taking down that video I made. About
had like 10,000 hits on.
I had 30,000 views.
Okay, wow, yeah, exactly.
It just like it got to a point. And I went back and watched it, and I still agree with everything that I said in the video. That's not why I took it down.
I agree with me.
I do. I agree with me. But the comments, I mean, you get up to like 30,000 views, people just start saying nasty things. Like they were calling me a whore and a slut and a home wrecker and things like that. And I thought,
Well, they didn't know the situation. I mean, without context.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of out of context.
Well, point of clarification, I have not had to pay her once, so. You might be a slut, but never
Not
a
a
whore.
whore.
Never a whore. No.
So it just like made me comfortable to think that, I don't know, that either my students or my children would see that, like, their teacher or their mother being called a whore and a slut, and I thought, just there's no need for that.
Yeah.
I made it to help other people who may be struggling and might have questions. And I feel like after 30,000 people, okay, I think I helped enough people.
Well, the way I look at it though with that is that it's one of those things that's never talked about, and it's one of the only things
like
people
taboo.
give a shit about. Like, I remember when you were first going to get the surgery, it was one of the first questions I had was like, what about the divorce thing? What about sex? What about, like, this thing with like changing, like people breaking off afterwards? Like, that's the question. People don't give a shit about, like, how much skin, loose skin getting cut off is going to cost. They care, but it's not the first concern.
Yeah.
The husband doesn't care, like, or the wife doesn't care. What, I cared about health risk, and I cared about emotional, like, changes later on.
Yeah.
And what brings on the divorce level in the community, because it's high. It's really high.
It's really high.
It is high.
Yeah, and one of the reasons for that is that people think that they lose the weight and then all the problems will go away. But usually what happens, they lose the weight and they're like, well, that felt pretty good, but not really. That didn't fix it. So what other things can I throw out that'll make me feel better, or change about my life that'll make me feel better? So change my wardrobe. I change my accessories, change my career maybe.
And hair.
What's still sitting around here that's the same? Oh, my significant other. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so like, of course that's going to come up, and you're going to start thinking about, like, these are the cracks in my sidewalk and I need to fill them in.
Yeah.
So yeah, of course those are the only fucking questions. And so it's hard, I went through all the videos, like, for WLS stuff before she had the surgery, and nobody answers it.
About it.
So of course you got 30,000 hits. I'm surprised you get like 100,000.
Yeah.
Well, but I don't think you can give blanket advice for that. I mean, I think those are really legitimate questions and concerns, and I guess I didn't research it in the community because we sort of watched it up close and personal with the end of Scott's parents' relationship, and that was at least partially triggered by her weight loss surgery, and that's not our story to tell, but suffice it to say it was messy and ugly and awful. And we got hurt in the shrapnel of that explosion. And I think that's probably one of the hardest things we lived through as a couple, was the destruction of their marriage. And, so if I had the only concern I had about weight loss surgery is we're not going to do that,
Right.
And I know us, and when we knew us, we didn't think that was a remote possibility, but that was like, one of my only concerns or ground rules or whatever was we're not going to do it like that.
Right.
And we haven't, and I think it's been a really positive thing in our life and in our relationship. I mean, I think we live a healthier life. Obviously Scott is healthier, but I think I am too, and I think the way we function as a family is healthier post WLS. But that doesn't, you don't seem to hear a lot of those stories in the community either.
Yeah. Well, and
That's
Right.
true.
it's always been our philosophy that love is a choice, and you can choose to love someone, or you can choose to not love them. And if you do choose to love someone, and that's the choice you make, it's a conscious choice, then you're going to make decisions that are going to build up that choice. You're going to invest in your relationship. You're going to try to grow together instead of apart, because it's either one way or the other. You're going to grow together or you're going to grow apart. And a lot of it is about choices. And so if you can keep your adolescent, hormone-driven, crazy brain after WLS under control and make some logical choices, I think that helps a lot.
Well, and we've been through some storms as a couple before. I mean, it's not like this was our first big challenge as a couple. We've been through some shit. and so lest anybody think we're the Cleavers and we've had a perfect life, it has not been perfect, and we've been through some really tough stuff before. But I think having been through that and knowing that our safe place is us through craziness, I think that helped, because we knew that whatever else happened, we were going to do this together.
Right.
And not everybody has that kind of relationship. I mean, there are people in the community who it's definitely just the partner does this part of their life by themselves, and for some people that works, and for some people that doesn't. But that just wasn't the model that was going to work for us.
This wasn't a question. I'm just wondering from your point of view. Sorry.
Yeah, we're getting an echo on our side.
Sorry. Okay, so I've been honestly like an emotional roller coaster for like since surgery, not since the beginning, but since surgery, I've been all over the place. Like how are you dealing with that? And how has it affected you?
Some days, most days, I just roll with it.
He's so easygoing. I'm really lucky.
I try to remain stoic. I mean, one of my favorite philosophers of all time is Marcus Aurelius. I mean, I just looked at him like, if I ever I'm feeling like a little bitch, like my emotions are all over the place, let me read some Marcus Aurelius, I'm good now. So sometimes I get drawn into it because me, like I'm kind of a mirror. So if you throw something at me, I'll throw that thing back at you. Like, this is the way you are. Do you like that? Then stop. Right. So I need to not do that, and I know that I need to not do that. So when I'm not rolling with it, I am doing that, and I stop myself because it's a shitty thing to do.
Yeah.
And it's just as juvenile, and it's just as fucked up as going through emotions without checking yourself.
Yeah.
So it's shared behavior. It's fire with fire, and it's not fair. So I stop myself, and then I try to go back to stoic, say the thing I get you, or walk away, which is important. Like, when shit really hits the fan and you're still processing, you need to get somewhere where you're not being braided or being or having that whole emotion in your face constantly, so you can actually think clearly again, get yourself recentered, and then head back into the battle. You know what I mean?
Have you ever made the mistake of saying you're not being logical?
Oh yeah.
And he knows that's one of my triggers, because I'm very much about
never ever do that. That's the dumbest thing.
She prides herself on being more thinks like a man.
Being analytical and logical, and when I'm feeling emotions that I know are not logical, I try to break it down and figure it out, and I talk it out with him. And sometimes I say to him, I know it's not logical, but it's how I feel. Yeah.
Another real good trick, and this is a small one, and it fucking works great though, is when somebody's going off on you and your significant other's going off on you. This is to everybody else. I know you got the shit down, Bridget Scott. Look at each other and say to the person that's going off, saying, "Is this a rant or do you need this solved?"
Oh, and that's a good one too. It's like, do you just want to just get it all out, or do you want me to offer solutions? Because sometimes when he's offering solutions and I don't want solutions, it can get bad. So he's learned to say, wait, do you want solutions or just want me to listen?
And then at that point, then I turn that part off. I'm like, all right, cool. I don't have to worry about this. It's like,
you just listen.
Be pretty nod. Oh.
We're almost out of time. So we didn't get to every question. We're almost out of time. We have to make sure you step on time tonight, because it's a big night for TV. There's a show starting up again.
Yeah, it was a new show.
Do you know what show I'm talking about?
Walking Dead?
No. Downton Abbey is coming back on tonight.
Oh,
You're thinking about zombies.
Yeah, everyone's thinking about Walking Dead.
Well, Prejudice and Zombies came out and bombed horribly, so of course I'm thinking about zombies.
But Downton Abbey really is starting tonight.
Downtown Abbey?
Downton.
It's Downton Abbey. Jesus.
Downton.
Well, we got another question. We got a +1 question up there.
Okay, go ahead.
We never get questions.
There's okay.
Yeah.
But there's okay.
We didn't get asked questions. Oh, me.
Okay, go ahead.
+1s. What advice do you have for other spouses that are new to the process? And advice do you have for spouses that have been through to goal and beyond? All right, so I guess you're first, Bridget.
Oh dear. If you've been through to goal and beyond, you probably got to figure it out already. I I would say if you're new on the process, I think the hardest part of the whole process was the liquid diet before surgery. The liquid diet after surgery got a little bit better, but the liquid diet before surgery, Scott is not an overly emotional person usually. I mean, he feels deeply, but he doesn't express crazy. Those 2 weeks were really rough, and you know, there were a few things I could do to try to be supportive. I didn't eat in front of him those weeks. I ate at work, and I didn't eat in front of him, and I tried to be supportive. But just know that it's not always going to be like that. If you're in that pre-surgery time and they get a little bit crazy, after 3 days it gets a little bit better. But God couldn't. He was in the shower and he turned the wrong knob. That's how unclearly he was thinking. And he's such a smart guy, and he's usually like so on top of things, and he couldn't get the shower the right temperature because he was turning the wrong knob. So he just, you know, just give them a little extra grace, even more than you think you need to give them when they're in that, because your brain chemistry is all messed up when you're on a liquid diet. That's the closest thing to advice I've got.
I would say be prepared for the high school thing. You don't have your spouse exactly anymore. You got a high schooler. So be aware that they're going to be Facebooking constantly. They're going to be on social networks constantly, laughing, giggling in the other room constantly. So it's basically, you have to get used to having that for a while. It's not all the way through unless there's real problems. And at that point, you got to talk about it. But they're going to withdraw into being a high schooler for at least 3 to 4 months, at least.
It might not be on
there are things about that that can be fun if you take advantage of them. Just say.
Yeah. Okay, well, we have these
that was from losing Lily, by the way. Losing Lily.
Who is joining us live for the first time tonight. Welcome, Lily.
Lily.
That's our friend.
That's our friend.
We're together.
Oh, awesome. Okay, so we have these questions that we usually ask the guests at the end of the show. So we're gonna do it pretty quick. Scott, have you ever answered these before?
Nope.
Okay, so we'll all answer them. What's your favorite word, Scott?
Kumquat.
Mine too. That's mine too.
Told you there. And Bridget?
I love language. The word that springs to mind at the moment is onomatopoeia.
Oh, I
That's
love that
good
word. I teach that word to my no matter what grade I was teaching. I would always teach what an onomatopoeia is and have them repeat it. And I love that word. Mine's boring. I love the word love.
Yeah.
Because our youngest son, when he couldn't say "I love you" the whole phrase, he would just say "love," which we knew meant "I love you." So it's become special to me.
Well, since Scott took kumquat, which was mine, I guess I'll just go with fuck nugget. It's a good word.
Oh, there's a swear word question later.
Well, that's not my favorite swear word. It's my favorite secondary word to kumquat. Fuck nugget.
Okay. What's your least favorite word, Scott?
Bridget, you go first.
I am not a fan of the F word. And
Fuck.
and especially the way it's often used, I feel like it degrades something beautiful. I'm of my parents. Anytime we learned a swear word, they told us what it really meant, and so when I use one, it means exactly what I mean. And so, but the way people use the F word, and it bothers me, and I just think it's ugly. So that's my least favorite word.
Okay, mine is the N word. Now that I thought about it, it's derogatory in so many ways.
Mm-hmm. That's mine too.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that one either. But I just don't use it. I figure if people who like to use it that are black, that like to use it as like friendly greetings and shit, I'm cool.
Yeah. If you're using it as a friendly greeting, but if you're using it as derogatory, it's the worst.
Yeah, a place of hate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine has come up more and more over the past 2 years, and it didn't used to be my least favorite word, but now it is. Problematic. I hate the people who use it, and I hate the word itself. Like, I immediately dislike you more if you use the word problematic.
Okay. Good to know. What turns you on creatively, spiritually, or emotionally? We'll start with Bridget.
Music. I love to sing. My worship language is music. If you really want to change my mood, change the music. I love to sing. I play a little, but I love music of many, many genres.
And I would say a good theological debate.
It's a good one.
How about you?
I enjoy theological debate, but I'd say probably drawing or creating art in general, and being touched. Like,
I'm turning him on creatively. For me, it's kids. Being around kids, working with kids, it creatively and spiritually.
This is a G-rated question.
David. Anyways, what turns you off? My husband.
But at least kids turn you on.
No. What turns you off, Scott?
People who are just mean for no good reason.
Bridget?
Stupidity. Not ignorance, but stupidity. People who don't know better but choose not to know better.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
David?
Ignorance is just not knowing. Stupidity is choosing not to know.
Yeah. I'd say pettiness in others.
Yeah.
For me, it's people who are, I think I've shared this before in here, Eeyores, people who are like,
Oh, yeah.
poor me, I'm so sad, everything's bad. Like, those kind of people, they just, like, suck all the energy out of you.
Yeah.
Because I want to make everyone happy. And
Emotional vampires.
Yeah, emotional vampires. That's hard. Okay, what is your favorite curse word? And I'll go first. Bridget, I'm sorry, it's the F word. That's my favorite.
What's that word? What's the F word?
I'm not going to say it because I don't
What is it? I want to know. I don't know what it is.
Bridget
I've never heard it.
It's really the only one I ever use, I think. But how about you? What's your favorite?
Favorite?
No, there's just so many to choose from.
Yeah, well, there are. I mean, like, well, I like using archaic curse words like catamite. Catamite's a good one because it's a child sex slave of a eunuch. Was the original use for it.
The things he knows. How about you, Scott?
I probably use shit the most.
What? Shit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Bridget?
Sometimes somebody is just being a bitch, and and there really is no other word to describe their behavior.
Yeah. What sound or noise do you love? David?
I love the sound of Logan's laugh.
Oh, that is a good sound. That's our youngest. That's good.
Yeah,
That's
I
a
really
really
love
good
it.
one.
Makes me happy just hearing it.
Besides our kids, I would say the sound of rain. I love the sound of rain.
It's a good one.
How about you? Oh, I'm sorry, Scott.
I love the sound of a stream because it reminds me of childhoods going fishing and standing out in the stream fly fishing.
Bridget?
I love the sound of his heartbeat.
Aww.
Like when we're all snuggled up in bed and I lay my head on his shoulder and I can hear his heartbeat.
Aww. Okay, what sound or noise do you hate? For me, it's a crying baby. If I hear a crying baby, I just want to go pick it up and make it stop and like make it all better.
That dolphin giggle that teenage girls get when they get together. I can't take it.
The sound of the phone at 3 a.m.
Oh yeah.
Tapping in the wrong place, if that makes sense. Like you're trying to concentrate and somebody's tapping a pen or rapping a.
Oh yeah.
That kind of tapping drives me crazy.
And what profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
My dream would be to be an audiobook recorder. I love the spoken word and I love to read, and that would be my dream job.
Very cool.
I would like to teach.
What would you like to teach?
Science. So, I mean, it was always sort of one of the lots of things that I'd like to do when I was a teenager, but that was one of the other directions. Or a writer, or a bartender, or a preacher. I mean,
or a bartender, or a preacher, or.
Well, they're not that far off, honestly.
At the same time, that's a weird combination.
You know, one, you give the wine first, and then you go to a box to talk about it.
Right.
Or you just stand where you're at when you give them the wine.
Right.
How about you?
I just probably stick with art in general. Like, I'm a graphic artist now. I wouldn't mind being just a straight up artist or a writer.
I'd like to be a writer.
Yeah.
Is that it?
If heaven exists.
Okay, if heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
I would like to hear him say, "I love you and you're forgiven."
I don't know. I haven't thought a lot about words there. My grandmother had this beautiful vision for heaven. She was a lifelong Sunday school teacher, and she said, "I hope when we get to heaven, we don't learn everything all at once. I want to go to school with God and learn from him." And I always thought that was a really beautiful vision of heaven, and just kind of that developing relationships throughout eternity. I think that's a really beautiful way to think about what we'll do with our time there, instead of, lots of people just think about it like heavenly stasis, and you do nothing. So I think the idea of growing and developing is a neat idea.
Do you have an answer?
Well, I'm an atheist, but I'd say I'd like him to say, "I'm sorry," and I'll actually fix it.
David's a little angry with God.
Well, it's hard to be angry at nothing, but as angry as I can be at nothing.
Yeah, I have no good answer. I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm speechless. I have nothing to say.
Huh?
I guess. I can't think of. I'm sorry. I don't have a good answer. So, thank you everybody for sticking with us tonight.
Absolutely.
Any last words before we go, Scott and Bridget?
I was going to say, if you guys ever want to do this again and answer some more questions, we have another show about couples. We're all in. Good.
Awesome.
And we gotta plan another visit. You guys come here, we go there. We need to find a time to do that.
Yeah, we were supposed to go just recently for Scott's birthday, but then I had to have surgery and all that stuff. So, it's all my fault.
That was a rough time.
Yeah, that was not fun. Okay, well, thank you guys so much, and everyone have a good night.
Happy Valentine's Day.